Treasurer Thomas Medesky, MD. Assistant Treasurer Joseph R. Sellers, MD. And our MSBE counselors, Mark Adams, MD. Edward Bartel, MD. Joshua M. Cohen, MD. Franklin G. Dowling, Robert A. Hessen, Howard H. Klein, John Kennedy, Mr. Charles Kenworthy, our medical student, Thomas T. Lee, MD, Parag Mehta, Paul A. Pippa, Harold M. Sokol, Solis Stevens, MD, Robert A. Viviano, MD, L. Carlos Zapata, MD. And now our trustees, William R. Latre, MD, as chair, Leah McCormick, once again, MD, Paul A. Hamlin, MD, Mark L. Fox, MD, Robert J. Hughes, MD, Daniel M. Young, MD, and Sam L. Utter, MD. Extensive round of applause for all of them. We extend our thanks to all of you for your contributions and time you have given to the Medical Society. And I wish to give special recognition to Dr. Sokol and Dowling and Mr. Kenworthy, for whom this is their last meeting as counselors. And joining this august body as a result of our elections this afternoon will be Andrew Kleiman, MD, as trustee, Maria Basil and Brian Murray as counselors, and they can please stand at the end of the room. In addition to the physicians of New York, who work to improve the health and well-being of the citizens of New York, are the members of the Alliance with MSBE. The co-presidents of the Alliance have worked tirelessly with their members to implement many projects. The newly elected presidents of the Alliance are Valerie Semaran. I believe she's here. Can she stand to be recognized? Oh, I don't see her. And Barbara Ellman and Bonnie Liebers, who are unable to be with us this evening. We wish them all the best for the coming year. And now, would Dr. William Latre please come to the podium?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Would Dr. Jeffrey Ribner please come to the podium? I'm going to enjoy this. In 1980, MSBE established the Henry I. Feinberg Award for Distinguished Service to MSBE. Dr. Feinberg served as MSBE Executive Vice President from 1961 to 1982 and had served as President from 1959 to 1960. In 1974 and 1975, Dr. Feinberg saw the Society through its first modern liability insurance crisis and helped found the physician-owned medical liability mutual insurance company. Dr. Feinberg died in 1987. The award is given to the physician who has done the most and the best for MSBE. This year's awardee, Dr. Jeffrey Ribner, has been working these delegations rooms since 1974. He is a past president of the Broome County Medical Society and has worked for MSBE in many tactical capacities. Dr. Ribner was chairman of MSBE's Strategic Planning Committee and chair of the committee to study MSBE. He has also served on both the state and federal legislation committees and on the Budget and Finance Committee. He has sat on over 16 key committees and boards, including Real Estate, the Long Range Planning Committee, Judicial Council, Investment Committee, Employee Benefits Committee, and the MESF. MSBE finally had to make him president in 2003 because there were no committees left for him to serve on. Dr. Ribner is a graduate of Princeton University and SUNY Downstate. He completed his residency at Yale New Haven Medical Center and is board certified in neurology. Anyone who has ever worked with Dr. Ribner knows he always does his homework and expects you to do yours. He likes to be on the receiving side of new information so he can dole it out like the power broker he enjoys being. He has mentored many in the 6th District, including Dr. Joe Maldonado and Dr. Daniel Young. As a matter of fact, Dr. Maldonado, when asked for a quote about his mentor, said, "There are 3 ways to get things done: the right way, the wrong way, and Dr. Ribner's way, which is always the best way." I can tell you on a personal level that in the men's room many years ago at this house, he asked me if I had any interest in becoming the president of our society. When I answered yes, he told me it'll never happen. And he was right. Fortunately, he never told me that I would not become trustee board chair and vice speaker of the House. Aside from that, Jeff Ribner is a fine human being and a very deserving recipient of Misney's 5-star award, the Henry Feinberg Award. It is truly an honor for me to present to him this award and to call him my friend. Dr. Ribner, would you like to say a few words?
I certainly would.
Payback is not good.
We have about a 25-year history of teasing each other. When he first called me to tell me I got this award, I figured he was kidding. And at the end of the sentence, he was going to say something like, "Well, you were going to get it, but we ran out of money. So it's not going to be yours." But I do have some other thank yous. I want to thank Bill, first of all, and the Board of Trustees for giving me this honor. I also would like to go back a little bit. As they mentioned, I've been here a while. So I'd like to say some well-deserved thank yous from the past. When I was a very young counselor, and I was young once, they gave me the job of chairing a committee that was asked to look at our journal, which had been there for 200 years. I think they expected us to say, "Journal's fine, no problem." We didn't say that. We found that virtually nobody was reading the journal, and that it was eating up all of our communications money. So my committee recommended, and over a year and a half, had the journal tactfully put to sleep and replaced it with a newspaper called the News of New York. To survive that episode, however, we had to have guardian angels. One of those guardian angels is here tonight, so Charlie Aswad. It's 25 years late, but I say thank you very much. The other guardian angels not here tonight were Randy Bloomfield, George Lim, and Stan Steckler. We followed at that point the special ops rule: if you're going to be brave, have plenty of backup. I also would like to thank 2 people from Broome County, Doctors Lasorte and Giordano. They effectively stood aside and let me advance, putting their own careers on hold. It was an act of great beneficence, and I will always be grateful to them. I want to just make a few comments about the present. When you get this award, you're kind of the elder statesman. So I'd like to say I know that this is a very dedicated group, but I know that many of you are laboring under conditions which are difficult and a wee bit depressing. I know in my own county, Broome County, our active membership has dropped from 360 when I was president to 140 today. If we look at the last 20 years of Misney, the active membership has dropped from 19,000 to 10,000, and that's difficult to deal with. Very recently, and I'm still on some committees, so I'm on Budget and Finance, and I got our Budget and Finance statement, and it showed a total budget of $7.7 million and a dues membership of $3.8 million. I thought I'd tease Phil Shue, so I sent him an email and said, "Gee, you know, the model in my mind is $10 million for the total budget and $5 million for dues." Within minutes, he shot back to me. His model is $12 million total budget and $7 million in dues, but then he wakes up. But there are things to be positive about. First of all, we have a very strong bench, and virtually everybody here who works for Misney is part of that strong bench. But to be a little parochial, in my own area, when I look at people like the President, Joe Maldonado, or the Speaker Emeritus, Jerry Cohn, or our trustee, Dan Young, or our 2 counselors, Bob Hessen and Howard Wong, I feel really good about the future. In addition, I recently retired. When you retire, you can watch a lot of TV if you like, and I like to watch the Bloomberg station. I like the financial stuff. So the mantra now in healthcare, as you all know, is for consolidation. So hospitals are going into chains. The 5 insurers, and that's all that's left, 5 insurers are trying to merge their way to 3. And Big Pharma has become so powerful that virtually all medications see a 15% yearly increase in price. It's my feeling, however, that in that consolidation, perhaps there's a way out for MSNY and for the AMA. I believe that these two institutions are the natural consolidators of medicine, the people who should be consolidating the many specialty organizations. So in closing, again, I'd like to thank Bill. I got a kick out of the way I was presented. I truly did. And in closing, I'd like to thank 2 other people. First of all, I'd like to thank Joe Maldonado for a superb year as an excellent president. And I'd like to say to Malcolm Reid, I know you're energetic, I know you're young, I know you're bright, but what I'm wishing you is luck. Because Napoleon always said, confidence is one thing, but luck is everything. So with those 2 words, I'm going to say not goodbye, but au revoir. I'll still be on a committee somewhere, somehow, forever. So thank you all very much.
Would Dr. Maldonado please come to the lectern? Dr. Maldonado is chairman of the Board of Trustees. I present you the Presidential Medal.
I have it already. No.
Well, then, you know, I knew they were going to get me.
No, I will take this one off.
Take that off.
Yes. Thank you.
You're not going to keep that one.
No. It's too heavy.
The Presidential Medal with the gratitude of the Medical Society of the State of New York for the past year of incredible service to our society. Dr. Pinto, would you please join us at the lectern?
Joe, I'm very happy to do this. The State of New York Executive Chamber provides a certificate of recognition to Joseph R. Maldonado, Jr., MD, upon being honored as past president of the Medical Society of the State of New York for your dedicated service, very wise guidance, and tireless advocacy on behalf of physicians and the continued development of a sound healthcare system in this state. In promoting these worthy goals of the Medical Society, you have provided excellent leadership and valuable insight that have led to important advancements in healthcare, groundbreaking progress, and significant improvements for the statewide medical community. As you were honored, and you are very honored, by your colleagues and peers for your efforts on behalf of the greater New York State public and the entire medical profession, I join in offering congratulations and best wishes for future success and fulfillment. Awarded on this 16th day of April in the year 2016, Andrew M. Cuomo, Governor.
Thank you, Dr. Pinto. Dr. Maldonado, would you like to say a few words?
Just a few words to say thank you so much. It has been an exciting, wonderful, but most exhausting year. But the exhaustion has been as a result of doing work that I have enjoyed doing over the last 25 years for this society. I started as a medical student and came to my first house, experienced what a lot of the young physicians are experiencing and the medical students and residents are experiencing now. And when I got here, I had tremendous encouragement from Nancy Nielsen in that process. And if I'm here, it's because she encouraged me to stay and not to leave because of the things that I may or may not have seen. And so I'm here because I had great mentorship from a lot of people. From George Lim, who's no longer with us, from Dwayne Cady, who is with us, Jeff Ridner, Charlie Aswad, and many other people who served, physicians who served as mentors to me. You know, you look around what's happening in the state, all the changes and the challenges, and then you come to a house and you say, there is no hope for this house, there's no hope for this society. But you look around at what we do and you say, no, there definitely is hope. We have a lot of young people who are very energetic. We have a lot of physicians who are there to mentor them. We have a lot of physicians who are working with medical staffs, with societies, specialty societies, with organized medicine, and I think that there is a bright future for us. We need to find our ways around the problems that we have that divide us, and I think that we're on that road. And for me, it was a pleasure to be able to see that happen in so many places around the state. It's for me a great pleasure to be able to pass the baton on to Dr. Malcolm Reid. Malcolm and I have known each other for several decades. He is a lot different than I am in terms of style. I tend to talk a lot. People get tired of my talking, but Malcolm is quite the opposite. He doesn't talk a lot, but when he talks, people listen because he has a lot of gems, he has a lot of wisdom, he has a lot of insight. He's got great preparation, and he's got great support from a lot of people who he's earned their trust. He's got a lot of integrity, and I think that he will serve the society extremely well. And it's a great pleasure for me to know that this society is in great hands. We have a great future. We've increased our membership. We are sound financially. I think we've got a bright future. I want to thank my family, my parents, my brother, my cousins, and my good friends from medical school, and my good friends who are here in the back, who are here to support me and to share in this moment. And thank you all so much. Tomorrow I will have a longer speech for you, and I'll say some thank yous to others as well. Again, thank you. It's been a phenomenal year. Thank you.
Now we have a special ceremony. A special and ancient emblem of office was created many years ago by our previous leaders to represent the mantle of leadership. This golden object has been handed down to us from those past presidents that have come before us, but who are no longer with us. This emblem is currently in the custody of Dr. Oswald, who was our most senior past president with us tonight. Dr. Oswald will begin the ceremony of continuity by passing the emblem on to his successor, who will then pass it on to his successor and on down the line to Dr. Maldonado. Then Dr. Maldonado will bestow this emblem on his successor, Dr. Malcolm Reid. Will our past presidents please rise? And Dr. Oswald, I now call upon you to initiate the ceremony of continuity. And Dr. Reid, will you please come to the lectern?
I think with this comes a lot more work. Good evening, Disney members, family, friends, and guests. I am humbled and I'm greatly appreciative. I thank you all for your diligence in coming to our 210th Annual House of Delegates and giving your personal time to decide on our pressing policy issues for the upcoming year. Your commitment to your patients and our profession is clearly demonstrated by your active participation in our House of Delegates deliberations. I often reflect on the quote, "For those whom much is given, much is expected." To that end, I did not get to this podium or receive this medal on my own. My accomplishments have been afforded to me due to diligence, preparation, opportunities, and through the tutelage of many mentors and role models. I will name a few later during my remarks. But first and foremost, my father and mother, who taught me and my sister Carol, who's there in the front, the value of a good education and made sure we received one at a public high school in Mount Vernon, New York, which is very close to where we are now. My father was born and raised in Harlem during the Depression. He was one of approximately 8 black young men who graduated from the prestigious Stuyvesant High School in 1944. He served honorably in the Korean War, was the only black soldier in his class in Officer Candidate School in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and he attained the rank of first lieutenant. It reminds me of something that I saw when I was clearing up the house. I tend to keep a lot of things. He had a letter that he shared, and he shared it to his mother and said that was the first time he'd actually seen Jim Crow while he was in Oklahoma. Subsequently, he worked during the day and attended school at night on the GI Bill. He graduated from New York University in 1957, and he worked as an accountant for New York State. My mother immigrated to New York from Jamaica, West Indies. She received her undergrad degree in 1957 while raising a young family, my sister, my older sister. She received her master's degree in English in 1967, and she received her second master's degree in reading in 1977 at the age of 50 while I was in 11th grade in Mount Vernon High School. She taught English and reading at James Monroe High School in the South Bronx. Education is very important to me and my family. In 1987, upon graduating from Harvard Medical School and the Harvard Kennedy School of Government, where I simultaneously received a master's degree in public policy, I returned to New York to commence my preliminary medicine internship at Winthrop University Hospital in Mineola, New York, Nassau County. It was an interesting year, it was a memorable year. I learned a lot of medicine, and I met a quiet, attractive young lady named Emily. We'll get back to her. My start in organized medicine began in a very unorthodox manner. As my wife says, I always have a lot of nervous energy. At the end of my internship, I got in a car with my father, my aunt, and uncle, and we drove to Chicago. I didn't take a train. Many people know I love trains. But we drove about 16 to 18 hours. I don't think we actually stopped in a hotel. When we got there, sort of skipped all the formalities. I wasn't a delegate. I just said that I just received a master's degree, I finished my internship, and I really wanted to delve into healthcare policy. They looked at me like I was crazy. How did you get here? We drove. It took about 18 hours, 3 drivers, and if anyone's ever driven my dad, you can imagine that was an interesting drive. The rest is history. The MSNY AMA delegation and the resident section embraced me with welcoming arms. By the following year, I was writing resolutions, testifying at the AMA annual and interim meetings, and I got thoroughly immersed in the activities of New York County. I became president of the resident section, served in the MSNY Council with Dr. Oswald, and actively began lobbying both in Albany and Washington, D.C. Got married in 1990, we'll get back to that too. So, got hooked in organized medicine in 1988, and I steadily increased my involvement both at the state and national levels over the ensuing 28 years. Clearly, the practice of medicine is changing on a daily basis with increased regulatory demands, increased intrusion by insurance companies, third parties. All of these erode the basic core principle of the doctor-patient relationship. Despite these challenges, I've stayed hooked on organized medicine. That's why I'm here today. As a native New Yorker, I may be biased to say that New York is the medical center of the world. We have the most medical schools by far, clearly some of the best in the world. We have everybody, all the residents want to train here, all the fellows want to train here, and if they do well, they can actually practice here. We also have the most diverse population with 19 million people, best research facilities. We also have AIDS, we have Zika virus, we have Ebola, we have healthcare disparities, we have high malpractice insurance bolstered by a damaged tort system. We also have e-prescribing, yet everyone still enjoys practicing here. We need to make the environment more conducive for doctors to want to stay here, but that's some of the hard, heavy lifting that I'll be doing over the next year. As an actively practicing, board-certified physical medicine and rehabilitation physician who's on call every third week, and I am going to be on call on Monday, I understand the day-to-day hassles that we face as practicing physicians, which includes a plethora of paperwork, increasing numbers of unfunded mandates. For me in rehab, I have to often speak to individuals to explain the medical necessity for an amputee to get a prosthesis. The endless prior approvals for essential medications that our patients need. Following the illustrious footsteps of Dr. Joseph Maldonado and Dr. Andrew Kleinman will be difficult, but I'm no stranger to challenges, and my colleagues will tell you I enjoy challenges. I will be continuing to work on the pressing health issues that we have, which include scope of practice issues, date of discovery, the Health Republic debacle, to name a few. If I knew that this year e-prescribing was going to go into effect, I would have pushed to try to extend it one more year, but unfortunately, the governor wasn't going to have that. We didn't think we would weather the I-stop process, but we did, and we will also weather the e-prescribing. I'm passionate about improving the numbers of members in MSNY. It's a challenge that people told me I shouldn't take on, but I'm passionate about doing it. I enjoy being a doctor, and I want to spread that enthusiasm. I want to challenge every MSNY member here to bring at least one new member in the upcoming year. We don't want physicians who have already thrown the towel in, those who are jaded, those who put their head in the sand. Frequently I ask physicians who I know or those that I meet whether they're a member of MSNY, and if they're not, why not? Often, they just don't understand what MSNY does, they don't understand what MSNY has accomplished, and to that end, we have to enhance our means of communicating the word. I do ask non-members to at least consider giving serious consideration to membership. Tonight, I ask all of you, our MSNY members, to reach out to the disenfranchised and tell them MSNY is for every physician in New York State. You should tell MSNY members and non-MSNY members to support MSNY PAC as fervently as they support their income. Simply stated, the choice is clear. As physicians, we either get involved and make something happen, or just sit back, close our eyes, and ask what just happened. MSNY is not just about issues, it's about advocacy, mentors, camaraderie, education, and lifelong friendships. MSNY, as with many groups in organized medicine, will go through challenging times, but we have prevailed and we will continue to prevail. My vast experience in clinical rehabilitation medicine, coupled with my intense involvement in organized medicine, has allowed me to meet many mentors and role models. My mentors have been individuals who have opened doors and broken glass ceilings for a multitude of physicians, but specifically, each of them has taken time to shepherd me and to take a special interest in me as I navigated the clinical, administrative, and health policy roles of my career while balancing the most important role of being a loving father, husband, brother, son, and uncle. Specifically, I'd like to thank several individuals who are joining us this evening for their wise counsel, sagacity, and friendship. Dr. Anthony Clemendor, please stand. Past president of New York County Medical Society, former dean of New York Medical College, There's so many things, I can't list all of them. Thank you so much. He took me under his wing in New York County and continues to be a close friend, advocate, and mentor. Next, Dr. Gerald Thompson, former president of the American College of Physicians. I met Dr. Thompson, physical medicine and rehab resident at Columbia. He's followed my career closely and he's always offered excellent guidance. Next, Dr. John Jack Downey, my original chairman in PM&R in Columbia in 1988. Colleague and mentor. Dr. Downey is always astute. I remember a few years ago he said, "Malcolm, your hair is thinning a little bit." I said, "Thank you, Dr. Downey, you've always put me on point." When I left in 1993, he said something that was just one of the nicest compliments one could ever receive. He stated, and he said this he's reiterated over the years, he said the biggest mistake Columbia ever made was to allow them to leave the system. I truly cherish that compliment. Thank you. I moved on to become head of rehab at North General Hospital and later moved to where I am now. But he has said that many times. He's also said my hair is thin. Many times. Thank you, Dr. Downey. Dr. Herbert Thornhill. I'm not sure if he's arrived yet, but he's the former chairman of PM&R at Harlem Hospital. When I met him there, he took me on street rounds where we would see undomiciled, disabled individuals. And the level of respect that he treated them with the same respect, he's in the back, that you would treat the private patient. Thank you. His approach to patient care is exemplary, and he has treated me like his own son. Thank you. Dr. Carolyn Britton, I know she is here, past president of the National Medical Association. We also met while as a PM&R resident at Columbia. I followed her illustrious footsteps as president of the local chapter of the National Medical Association in the early 1990s. Thank you. I have so many other role models, both within MSNY and outside of MSNY, but I would like to mention a few others. My cousin, Dr. Clinton Brown, I hope he is here. Yes, he is. Distinguished nephrologist and researcher at Downstate Medical Center. Thank you, Clint. Dr. Alice Combs, past president of the Massachusetts Medical Society. She too has taken me under her wing and invited me so graciously up in Massachusetts. A leader. Dr. Nancy Nielsen, please stand. Past speaker of MSNY, past president of the AMA. One person who's not here is actually Dr. Richard Pearson, past president of the New York County Medical Society. He's a special mentor for me because he served our house, he has served New York County for over 5 decades. He was past president of New York County Medical Society in 1967. And he, not here, because sadly he moved. He moved on to Massachusetts with his lovely wife. But he continues to teach, and he assured me actually when I spoke to him last week that he comes to New York once per week to still teach residents and students and anyone who wants to listen, and also talk about single payer to anyone who wants to listen. There's a special connection to Dr. Pearson because my son, my oldest son, Malcolm Jr., yeah, you should stand. Go ahead. He worked in Dr. Pearson's lab, and as a high schooler, he actually had a publication. He also presented at the National Medical Association as a high schooler. And Malcolm, like Dr. Pearson, have something in common. Malcolm graduated Princeton University, class 2014. Dr. Pearson graduated a little bit before him in 1951. I want to thank my New York County delegation for the decades of support, and especially Cheryl Malone and her dedicated staff. Guess while I'm winding down, I would like to just introduce a couple of family members that are here. My sister, Carol Reid, please stop. Her son, Brian, his wife, Jamie. Lastly, and most importantly, I want to thank my family for their unwavering support, my lovely wife of 25 years, Emily, a former junior high school teacher, my children, Malcolm Jr., 23 years old, and as I said, to graduate of Princeton, he's now working at Epic. Please don't hold that against him. I see evidence. People heard it. In Verona, Wisconsin. He's also working on a master's degree. He's a computer programmer for Epic, and he's working on a master's degree in computer science at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Lovely daughter, Maya, 19-year-old, SUNY Binghamton. Studying human development and doing very well. And then, last but certainly not least, my little guy, 16-year-old Matthew. He's a junior in high school, and I often say it, tell everyone, all roads lead to rehab, but I didn't know last weekend when I got a call from my neighbor that your son pulled up lame on the second when he's doing his heat. So, he's got an injury, he's on crutches, he's going to bounce back very quickly. All roads lead to rehab. My family is my strength in my heart. Emily continues to be the wind beneath my wings. In closing, I'd like to thank MSNY and MSNY members for your continued support. I believe in the power of MSNY, and we will steer this organization through challenging times as increasing numbers of physicians become employed by hospitals. These physicians will continue to need another voice to speak for them. That unifying voice is MSNY. Am I an optimist? Yes, I am. I'm a New York Mets fan. Thank you. Dr. Downing, thank you.
I'm opposing myself on this august meeting, although Michael has stolen most of my words. In the terms of, as I was coming here tonight, I thought I'm going down there, because we came from Northern Connecticut, with mixed emotions. Now, my dear departed father defined mixed emotions. He was watching your wife drive over the cliff with your brand new Cadillac. So, my mixed emotions, on the one hand, my congratulations to our guest of honor. He much deserves everything that has been said and much more. He was a brilliant resident when he was with us, and it is the worst thing that ever happened, and that's the other half of the mixed, that we let him go. He got away from us, to put it more clearly. He should have been kept. I talked to Dr. Thompson earlier, who was one of our deans, and I said, why didn't we just rope him and tie him to the wall and kept him here? So with mixed emotions, I come with great pleasure. I congratulate you, Malcolm.
Thank you.
And your beautiful wife and family.
And I know he just didn't have time to spend at least another hour describing to you an incredible train set that he has in his home and his passionate love for trains and train lore. And I think he'll manage to keep us on track for the year. Oh, all right, so I'll just move along. Congratulations, Dr. Reid, and all best wishes for your year as President of the Medical Society. Thank you all for attending the ceremony of presidents, sharing in the evening celebrations, and helping to express our appreciation to these distinguished members of the leadership of the Medical Society. Please join us at the dinner dance, which is in the Grand Ballroom next door. Thank you and good evening.
I checked out your guy.
Thank you. How are you doing?
Good. That's good. He really wants to.
Thank you.
Hey.